Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
Welcome to episode 344. I'm too peppy. Selling in a softer market.
Yeah, soften it up, Katie. This is a serious topic.
Let's take it down. Let's take it down, way down. Selling in a bad market.
Yeah, not a bad market. It's not okay, here's my thoughts. It's not a bad market. I actually think I'm feeling pretty optimistic about 2026.
Okay.
But here is what we are starting to encounter.
Mm-hmm.
All of our COVID buyers are starting to need to sell the house that they got in a bidding war over.
Yeah.
And we really need to be having those conversations and looking at numbers and making sure we have a good game plan to accomplish what we need to.
Right, because things are not the same as they were.
Correct.
I mean, every single real estate market is different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it lasts for a couple of years, 3 or 4 years at most, but then, there's shifts and changes. Something comes up. Maybe you'll have one anomaly year where things are really different, and then, okay.
But regardless of the market, if you this episode is good for if you ever have a seller who needs to sell and is either approaching being upside down or the numbers are really tight on what the house is worth versus what they owe. So that is what we are discussing today.
Can I start with the message that we received?
Yes.
This is the beginning of this. A lovely listener sent this message. You know what I'm getting a lot of? Previous buyers from circa COVID who now need to sell in a softer market. I'm trying to be as diplomatic and professional as possible in my conversations about this current market being much softer and honestly not great to sell in. But I really am having a hard time dealing with my own sinking feeling in my stomach. Last I recall, we don't have an episode to address reselling in a softer market than when people bought. Okay, she's physically feeling sick doing CMAs at this point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've had that happen.
So my response was, all right, what are the sellers saying when they get the bad news? And are they losing money or just breaking even? Because I'm like, I need qualifying. How soft is your soft market?
Every situation is going to be different.
Well, and everyone's market is a little different, right?
Right.
So here's the response from our friend. Most of them are making a little money still, but not at all near what they were expecting. Most have to sell. All caps, have to.
Yep.
Okay, they have to sell. So they have to accept the reality. And some I have recommended waiting until later, a few months down the road, hoping to see better supportive inventory.
Sure.
I even had one seller cry on the phone that he can't sell for less than we have it listed for. And we might take it off the market to emotionally regroup because they've been on the market for months.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree this is not an isolated incident. I was like, this sounds like something people are experiencing.
Yes.
Ever had a buyer freak out right before closing?
Yep, and it's usually because they didn't really do their due diligence.
That's why we created the Make Sure You're Sure template, a free email you can send to your buyers during the inspection period.
It helps them feel confident, ask the right questions, and avoid last-minute regrets.
Less panic, more peace of mind.
Grab the free template now at hustlehumblypodcast.com/makesure.
Are you experiencing this?
This is my first year where I'm experiencing it more.
Okay.
I have 3 stories from the last 6 months that will be shared in today's episode.
I can't wait to hear them.
I have and they're all different. So,
great, perfect.
Should I just dive into the first one?
Before you dive into it, I want to frame a little bit our backgrounds, okay? I think everyone knows you've been in the business now 14 years, 2011.
Yes. 15,
I have been in, so yes, we're getting to your 15th anniversary. I have been in since 2005, so just at 20 years. I do have the unique perspective to have experienced what it truly means to be in the softest market there when the bubble burst. It's like when the balloon pops and it's all stretched out and not like it was one. This soft market is not that soft market.
Sure.
Okay. That was truly devastating.
Yeah.
Sellers would call you and be like, I got divorced, somebody died, I had a baby, I have to move for my job, something happened and I have to move. And you would have to say, okay, well, your house is worth $250,000. And they would say, okay, but I owe $300,000. And you would have to say, okay, do you know what a short sale is? And they would say, no. And I'm like, and this would be the very bad news that I had to deliver. I'm just framing this because
you had to do this a lot.
Yes, more than once. It was, and when I mean to tell you, markets are different, but this was happening nationwide.
Yes,
the whole, and some so much worse than others. Okay, so ours was just so. But you would say, okay, well, if you do a short sale, it'll ruin your credit for 2 years. But if you go let your house fall to foreclosure, which tons of people did, it will ruin your credit for 7 years. So now we're talking about, do you want 2 years or 7 years? And the short sale process is the joke in the industry, very long.
Yes, it's not short. It's not called a short sale because it's short. It's called a short sale because you're short on money.
That's right. And the sellers typically were in so much distress that they were making the choice between no longer paying their mortgage and going to foreclosure and then, like, in essence, being homeless or having to find like a rental home.
I have a client who told me a story about he owned like a fourplex during that time and he couldn't sell it. And he literally just mailed his keys to his bank and was like, I can't do it. It's yours now. Sorry.
Yes, that is true. That was not isolated. It was pretty frequent. And so they would decide, but because they're in duress and things are bad in the economy in general at that time, they don't want to deal with it. So they would have to fill out a form called a third-party authorization saying, Katy, on my behalf, is going to talk to the bank and figure this out.
Great.
Because I don't want to figure it out. I'm done. I'm just teetering on the edge of foreclosure. Like, I'm not paying my mortgage. I can't. So every month that you miss a mortgage and it doesn't sell, the number
gets bigger,
and what you're requesting of the bank gets bigger. Because you're like saying, hey, I don't have $300,000. I only have $250,000. Oh, but I owe you for last month. So now really I'm supposed to pay $310,000. Like it just keeps getting further and further apart.
Yes. So
you, as the agent who was like, I will help you facilitate the short sale because this is my job. And I don't have any other. These are the listings. This is what we got. You have to get on the phone and y'all literally cry tears. Please help me. What do I have to do? What do you need? Tell me all the documents. It's sort of the equivalent of reload properties.
Yeah.
So many extra documents.
Right.
So many other people that have to approve the sale before. So then you get an offer. Seller's like, great, I'll take it. I don't care. I'm not getting a dime. Right. You've already had to, as the agent, negotiate your commission from the bank because the seller can't pay you. They have no money. So you're like, I'm going to negotiate this. It's going to be this. And then the seller gets the offer. They're like, yes, perfect. Great. I don't care. You're just lucky as the agent if the seller is still complying and signing, because if they don't comply and sign, you're not going to get paid. Correct. And you have put in all this work. Okay. So you get the offer, the seller says, okay, then you have to beg the bank to take it. The bank says, okay. And then finally you get to sell this house. Seller makes no money. Seller has only ruined their credit for 2 years as opposed to foreclosure. That I don't think is what's happening now.
No.
Because people still because the values of homes have grown enough in the last few years, even if you bought in 2021 or 2022, hopefully there's enough for you to obviously cover what you paid, but also maybe pay your agent.
Sure.
To me, devastating news is not breaking even. Devastating news is you need to bring money or you don't have the money you need to bring and you have to beg the bank to let you sell it for less. That to me is devastating news.
100%.
That would give me a sinking feeling in my stomach.
Yes.
But if they are making a little or truly breaking even, like they don't come to closing with money, I think that's unfortunate, but okay.
You win some and you lose some.
It's the nature of timing, right?
Yeah.
Just like if you had a giant stock portfolio and the market tanked and you happen to be at the point in time when it's your retirement. Like, what are you going to do?
It's unfortunate.
I can't control it. Tell me one of your stories now. From your current life.
Okay, from my current life.
That was my past life. That's a life none of you, I just want you all to frame that you don't want to go there.
I only did one short sale, and it was a condo off of Stumberg, and the guy owed $75,000 and the comps of what it was worth was like $65,000. And I was thinking, this is basically free at this point. I mean, to get a condo for $65,000, but we did have to go through the short sale process. And would you believe we got an offer for $70,000?
Okay.
And the appraisal came in low.
Oh,
and
God.
and I was on my honeymoon.
Oh, God.
And Christy, my now broker, was managing my emails, and I had no phone.
Oh,
I had my phone, but in 2012, it didn't work overseas. On my honeymoon.
You didn't have the travel plan.
No. So when I got home, I was reading all my emails like, wow, this was very interesting. I'm sorry it was so much work.
Much work.
It ended up, they just had to negotiate it. What I did find through that process is that the banks don't want the house either.
No, because foreclosure, depending on the state, is hard to do.
Yes.
And it's not
It costs the bank money.
Yeah,
Legal fees.
Yes.
So they do want to work with your people, but you do have to make sure they are doing their homework and what they're supposed to.
They have to jump through all of the hoops.
And when you're talking about the situations that you just shared, a lot of times it comes with mental stress, mental illness. Like, these people are at their rock bottom, so holding them accountable and helping them through this is very difficult.
Yeah, y'all, because you also had to turn in documents that showed what all of your monthly bills were. Mm-hmm. Like, you had to prove that you truly couldn't pay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, hey, take my short sale, it's fine.
Mm-mm.
It was like, hey,
big deal.
I can't afford to live, and you can foreclose on this house, or we can try to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think let's back it up now. Let's say you're the agent and you're prepping you've gotten a call for, the listing, and you're prepping and you're like, their numbers and you see, okay, this is a fine line.
Okay, story time.
Please.
Back in 2021, I had the cutest young couple come to me to buy their first home. And this was the first time I was like, this is the first time I've actually felt old.
Oh,
because they had to be like 20, 21. Okay, young.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very wise.
Okay.
And of course, we had lost a few houses, bidding wars. Okay, they're using a VA loan. It's 100% financing. So we find this cute little cottage, and the comps for what the list price was didn't really make sense. But was it cute? Yes.
Yeah.
Did it have a screened-in porch and a picket fence? Yes. So it was creating all of this buzz, and it was a multiple offer situation.
People wanted the house.
They wanted the house. When it was first listed, I thought, well, this is too high for this, for the location, for all of this. Like, the comps don't work.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, there's multiple offers and it's going over asking. And I'm like, well, I guess there's buyer demand, So I had to have that conversation with my sweet young couple. Like, listen, I need you to, if we're going to do this, I need you to see these comps. You're going to have to live in this house for a long time. Because
what did you tell them what a long time was?
I said at least 5 to 8 years.
Okay.
So that I can give the market time to catch up. I'm going to need you to take care of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to just, sweat equity, build your equity, and stay put. And they're just in love with the house. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We could do all that.
Yes. And surprisingly, we won.
Okay.
We won the bidding war.
Over ask?
I believe so.
Did they
not much, not crazy.
Do you remember if they got any closing costs or anything, or it was
They did get their closing costs covered. We paid a little bit over asking.
Okay.
And so we're buying the house.
Okay.
We made it through. It appraised somehow. I didn't think it was going to appraise, but it did. But also the listing agent is telling the appraiser, I have 4 more offers for this
all price. The same price.
Like, tell me it's not
That's
worth
pretty much
that.
a done deal.
So it appraised.
Okay.
And here we are, 4 years later, I get a call from my sweet couple
to come over. I told you 5.
Yes, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving to their house.
You're like, I said 5.
They didn't listen. They seemed so wise. I get there, and the first thing we sit down, the first thing they say is, we weren't expecting to move.
Okay.
We are taking a new job. It's not like a relocation package. They're not being paid to move, but they are moving out of the state voluntarily.
Okay.
They said, but we want to let you know we have savings specifically to get out of the house.
Okay.
And I went,
Great.
they were like,
They
we
were wise.
remember what you said.
Yeah.
And we keep up with the neighborhood. We know what things are selling for.
Okay.
So we know. And so to me, this was a best case scenario.
Yeah.
I'm not having to break their heart. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So they paid $289.
Okay.
And when I ran comps, I would have loved to have listed it at $280
Okay.
before I got to the house. $280. I get to the house. They're a fun, sweet, artsy couple.
Mm-hmm.
They do like the native plants and have bees and, things like that. Every room is a different color.
Mm-hmm.
And they have cats that have done some things. And I'm just like, not only are we going to be pushing the price, but
it's not ready.
It's not ready. And I don't know what we're going to do here because they, in full disclosure, they were like, we have $9,000 to bring to the closing table.
Because they think it's selling for $280 and they bought it for $289.
I don't know.
They were like, we have $9,000.
I was like, and at first I went from like happy they're wise and they plan to that's it. That's not enough. We need to find more.
Oh no.
I was feeling really sad. Okay. So I knew, Alissa, now is not the time to beat around the bush. You just have to tell them the truth. I said, y'all, look at these numbers. Mm-hmm. I am not sure that what you have saved is enough. I don't know, but I do know we have to get this entire house painted. Mm-hmm. We have to replace all these drapes that the cats can apparently climb all the way to the top. Okay.
Yeah.
We are going to have to like pack up some of the eclectic art. We're going to have to do this. And they didn't miss a beat. They were like, okay, yeah. Yes. When I tell you this sweet girl painted the entire house herself, she was exhausted by the end of it. The whole house. There was not a room that did not get painted.
Oh my.
And it looked amazing.
Okay, great.
She was sending me paint colors. She was doing this. I sent her the Amazon links to some drapes. She ordered new drapes.
Okay.
Most everything her and her husband were able to do themselves.
Okay, good.
And I also really wanted to try to push the price to $300 to see if I could, because the $9 wasn't going to be enough. Like they were going to have to come out of pocket. So I sort of did some reverse math to see if we sold for this price,
what
they may only have to bring $5,000 to closing, or they may only have to bring $6,000 to closing.
Okay.
I was trying to give us some wiggle room in the buffer.
Okay.
And it's not a situation where I thought $289, but we needed $350, right? We're talking like if I could have had an extra $10,000, $15,000, that would have been good. But I also know they actually like don't have funds.
Okay.
So I left there just sort of sad for them, and not really sure what to expect. But what do you know? 3 weeks later, they called me to come back for a walkthrough.
They did all the work.
And they did everything.
Okay.
And it looked so much better.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, we may have a chance.
Okay.
And so I took that moment to tell them, listen, $300 is too high per the comps. But it looks really good. And I don't want to leave a single dollar on the table for you. Mm-hmm. Let's just list it at $300, see what happens. If, a week and a half goes by and it's not looking good, let's quickly adjust, to $290. And they're like, okay, everything I say, yes, okay, got it. I'm like, I just love you guys.
They're so compliant.
Just love you guys. I could not believe how great they did on their homework.
Okay.
So we list it.
Uh-huh.
We have 5 showings the first weekend, which I had not had happen in forever.
Okay.
And there were several no's, but we got an offer that first weekend for $300.
Okay.
Asking for like $8,000 in closing.
Okay.
But we just countered and got it down to $5,000 in closing.
Okay.
And it worked.
I love it.
And everything went very smooth.
Okay.
We gave $1,500 during due diligence. And they only had to bring like $3,000 to the closing table and use the rest of the money to do what they needed to do. but it was the first, like, I sold them the house. So I understand her sinking feeling of feeling responsible.
Yeah.
And when I work with buyers, I share examples like this a lot. I tell them, listen, my goal as your buyer's agent is to be your listing agent one day.
Yeah.
Maybe that's 5 years. Maybe that's 10 years. Maybe that's 15 years.
Right.
I don't know, but I would like to sell this house one day. And if I have any reservations about doing that, I'm going to voice them now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always like, yes, thank you. Wow. Like, I think it really reassures them that you like this horrible house. I don't care. I just want the sale.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you buy it.
Right.
But it was good to see it through from beginning to end, how it all played out.
And how were they at closing? Happy, sad, relieved?
They were so happy.
Happy. Okay.
So
I
happy.
want to stay on this for a minute. These people sold their house and had to bring a check for $3,000, and they were so happy.
Yes.
Mostly because you did the right thing on the front end and told them, look, you got to stay in this house for a while because we're paying, I'm doing my air quotes, too much, right?
I sold many houses during COVID I did not feel financially comfortable with.
Right.
But all my clients
They
knew
all
that.
know.
And as long as they understood and realized what that means, then they can make their choice.
Okay, now let's talk about what would have been different if these people had put 5, 10, 20% down. If they hadn't been 100% loan and you showed up with the same information, when they closed, they would have gotten a check.
Yeah.
Because they had put money in.
Yes.
So
maybe they didn't get it all back.
Right. But in those instances, I also feel like that you have to pay to play.
Yes.
It's like the cost of owning the home. I didn't just get to own the home and I got no money in it, right? Like if you don't walk away with every dollar you put in, but you can leave when you want to leave, that's still a win. So it's not like, I think, especially with how values have gone up in the last few years, agents, especially if you're a new agent, if you've only ever been in the business for the last 5 years, and you're just used to people thinking, oh, every time I sell my house, it's like a windfall. It's like a cash cow. It's like the best investment ever made. All the stocks only go up, right? Well, that's not how it works.
Right.
Sometimes the values don't go up, or they get stale. Maybe they go down some, or something happens where your house has a problem that people are not wanting to buy it, and you've got to like take a hit in the money. So I think it's important to remember, if you had to rent during that time period where you were a homeowner, you would have paid money that you have nothing to show for, right?
This brings me to my second story.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
So I had a nurse who was actually in school with my sister, is how I got the referral.
Okay.
She moved here from another state to go to this 3-year nursing program.
Okay.
So her and her husband wanted to buy a house during 2020. Like we are in the pit of bidding wars.
Okay.
And we had lost out on a few. They're getting frustrated. I had the conversation with them that I didn't think they should buy. I thought,
just rent.
Yeah. I said, you're only going to be here for 3 years. And that's not enough time when we're going to clearly have to be going over asking, look how many offers we've lost with escalation clauses in them. And she said, well, we really want to own while we're here. We have our dogs. We want to be able to paint and enjoy the home.
Okay.
And if we rent, we're just burning that much money anyway.
Throwing it away.
So again, I voiced my concern. They voiced their perspective. And as long as we're all on the same page, we're good to go.
Yep.
So we come across this house that is a cute little small garden home. It's owned by this older lady. It has been renovated and it is extremely clean.
Okay.
New roof. So I'm like, okay. But the price that she was asking was so high. So I'm like, here we go again. So we're having this conversation. And then 3 years later, last year, they email me and they're like, hey, we finished school. We're moving back, to where we came from. And we are already there. The house is empty. So we just need you. We left a key. We need you to just go tell us what to do.
Oh, my.
I had not gone to the house yet.
They've already gone.
They've already left.
Bye.
Yes, it's vacant now.
Okay.
She said, we figured it would be best for you to see it with us not there because of the dogs. They had 3 dogs.
Oh, gosh.
One was a corgi.
Oh, sweet.
So I ran numbers because it is a neighborhood where many of the houses are the same. And they paid, it's unfortunate. Okay. They paid actually $300 for it. So my numbers are similar to the last story, but a little different.
Okay.
They paid $300 for it. Unfortunately, their floor plan sold 3 times in the last year for $279.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So like over $20,000 plus fees.
Oh.
Like this is a big, huge gap.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, $2,000 a month in rent 2 times.
You're like, it's okay. It's okay.
like, remember when you said you were prepared for this?
Yeah.
And they did use a down payment. I can't remember how much it was, but so it's a little bit of a different situation. And I said, y'all, I don't see us being able to list it, for more. We can try to get it in really good shape. I haven't been there yet, but we'll stage it. We'll do this, we'll do that. But I just have to make sure like it's show ready. And they're like, we understand. We remember this conversation,
Yeah.
So I opened the door.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And it's just like so beat up.
Oh, no.
It is so beat up. The paint is just patched in so many places. Some of the sheetrock tape is starting to come undone on the vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
Like there's layers of dirt on the baseboards. And I'm just like, y'all, I don't know what we're going to do here. And so I had to, thankfully I was alone to process this.
You needed to process alone.
I took several photos. I sent them the comps. I said, I need y'all to look through these photos of these
Were they
comps.
surprised?
Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Very disappointed that it wasn't at least worth what they paid.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, like you say, do y'all have a budget to sell? You're not here. It has to be cleaned.
Yeah.
It has to be painted.
Right.
We have to get some landscaping, power washing.
Yeah.
And they understood. I mean, when it's one thing to see it in person when you're there living in it, but when you've left and you see pictures like I took and sent to them to say, we have to address, and they're like, okay, we knew we were going to have to like do stuff. We just wanted your guidance first. I'm
Fine.
like, okay,
That's
good. So we get the painters over there and she's messaging me saying, well, the painter is saying things aren't looking great. Could you go by and just check on it? And I'm like, okay. So I'm confused. So I go by. Well, they were trying to save money. So instead of painting the whole wall, the painter was trying to touch up paint, but this whole house has got to be painted. And the painter said, I keep telling them like, this is old paint on new paint. Even if it's the same paint, it's
not the same sheen anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna leave these polka dots, you know?
Polka dots.
So I had to just call them. I had to call them and say, listen,
that's not going to work.
This is not going to work. We have to paint. You have to really paint. I understand it's expensive, but we aren't even going to be able to push the price at all.
Yeah.
We have to do these things. And I just had to have that conversation. I said, we could. So again, I'm like, we can try to list for $300, but I'm not saying we're going to get that. And I don't even feel comfortable. I said, I only feel comfortable pushing it above the comps if it is immaculate.
Right.
We can't push the comps and be in terrible condition.
Right.
And so the other day, I had a new agent in the office who said, what do you do when a seller just says no? I'm not doing that.
Great question.
Yeah. And one thing I kind of started doing, it actually happened on accident one time when I was a little over caffeinated. But it went so well. I basically just was like, look, okay, fine. If you don't want to paint and you still want to try to push the price, here's what's going to happen. We're going to list it. We're going to sit on the market. We're going to have tons of showings because it's a great area and it is a good price point. But then people are going to get here. They're going to see it and they're going to smell it. And they're going to say, this is no good. This is no good. This is no good over and over and over again until we drop the price. And then we're going to get a new wave of showings. And the feedback is going to be the same. This is no good. This is no good. The paint, the updates needed, the carpet, the landscaping, like it's no good. The price is too high. We keep dropping the price. The problem is now we're priced to show the condition that it's in. But number one, people don't care about that if they can't get over the condition.
Yeah.
So no matter what price it is, if they walk in and feel this way, that person's not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So our buyer pool is extremely small. So then you're going to get tired of this whole process and you're finally going to temporarily take it off the market and we're going to do everything I just told you to do, but we're not going to be able to increase our price.
No, because
everybody already saw the price. And this huge buyer pool of buyers that have come in the last 4 months, they've already came and they've already said no.
Yeah.
So now we're at the mercy of hoping and praying that a brand new buyer comes to the house that hasn't seen it before. And the likelihood of that happening is not good. So let's just scrap all that and do it right from the beginning.
And what did they say?
They were like, that makes sense. They're like, they have to see it through.
Well, you have to show them all the chess moves.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you're telling me I can't sell it, but I don't believe you because I don't understand the actual step-by-step part of the process.
We'll just offer an allowance.
No. And look, the other option of that is, okay, fine. You could start at the lowest price you were going to get down to when it's the original on the market in the condition it's in and the correct price for that.
Yeah.
That might have sold, but not if you get there from being priced too high at the wrong condition.
Right.
Because you missed the market.
Great news! We are sharing the cover letter you need to help your buyers understand and be ready to sign your buyer brokerage agreement.
This letter is packed full of education for your buyers and helps protect you in the changing real estate industry.
Here's what you'll get inside the buyer brokerage agreement cover letter. Your commitments to buyers detailing how you will serve them, the buyer loyalty agreement that explains the buyer rules,
transparency on how buyers' agents get paid, and a call to action to sign the buyer representation agreement.
Find it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/BBA. That's hustlehumblypodcast.com/BBA. Cheers to transparency and increased professionalism. Having just recently shown an out-of-town buyer's 10 houses in one day was very good for me to do as a listing agent.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking through these houses and if there's a dead roach or whatever, it just makes them, even though we know that roach can be swept up, this can be done, they are making emotional decisions a lot of the time. And how does it feel in here?
They're spending a lot of money.
Yes.
If I'm going to spend the most money I probably ever spend on any item, I'm going to have high standards. I don't want it to have dirty baseboards and roaches on the floor, regardless of the price range, right?
Yeah. And so then it's like, even if they come in here and love the house, they're going to check the comps.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, but this floor plan just sold $20,000 less several times this year. So why are you going to get $300?
Right.
So then we had to have that conversation. And then we had to have the worst case scenario conversation of what if we have to sell for $279?
Yeah, what does
that look like? And that's where I had to pull out the net sheet.
Okay.
And be like, we need to go over this. I need to know what you owe.
And do you have
have savings?
And what did it end up being if they sold at $279? Would they have to bring money or they had just enough in it?
They were looking at having to bring maybe $10,000 if we sold it for $279.
Yeah.
Which is less than what they paid for it.
Right.
And it's not like the market in that neighborhood has gone down. That's not what happened.
Look, what happens with prices is that somebody has a house listed that needs it to sell fast. And for whatever reason at that point in time, the market is slow enough that they drop the price to accomplish their goal. Then the next person who lists, and that's their comp, says, well, I also need to sell, but look, the last one sold for this. And that's how prices get set.
Yeah.
because somebody made the choice to come down. Just like when the market gets hot and somebody's like, I'm going to test it up higher, that's how prices go up. Like if you're using comparable sales data to price a property, all it takes is a couple of people saying, I'm desperate, something is bad is going on, I need to sell, I'll just drop it another 10, 15 to be lower than the other ones listed to make mine the most desirable. And then I sell, and now all of a sudden I'm the comp.
Right.
I want to talk, you mentioned allowances a little bit briefly in that story. And I don't remember what class I was in, but somebody once said something about allowances that I use with my sellers also. They're like, oh, well, I know the carpet is really stained in these bedrooms and super old, but we'll just give an allowance so they can get whatever they want. And I'm like, okay, first of all, if you don't give a number to the allowance, buyers think everything costs way more than it costs. Oh, one room needs paint, that's $10,000.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
No.
They think you're just offering free money. So just ask.
Just ask for more money. They're like, oh, this room needs carpet. That's going to cost $5,000. I'm like, that's not how much carpet. Buyers have no clue how much things cost.
And they want to pay for the convenience fee of them. Well, I'm going to take my time to rip out your old carpet and then hire someone and have to be here while they're doing everything.
Hassle. Nobody wants to come to the house that isn't a air quotes, fixer-upper.
Right.
If you're the type of buyer that wants to do a renovation, that is a very teeny tiny subset of buyers, right? Who want to do, yay, I can't wait to do a reno, right? All the rest of us are annoyed if you, Mr. Seller, chose not to change out the carpet that is obviously done.
Yeah.
I don't care if you pick tan, light tan, slightly darker tan, medium gray, like it's a neutral color carpet. You're making it sound like you're deciding between purple carpet and red carpet, and you can't make that choice for a buyer. That is BS, and that is just the story that sellers tell themselves to try not to do the work.
Everyone would prefer clean, neutral carpet over dirty, stained, smelly carpet.
Literally doesn't matter the color.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, as long as it's not red or purple, right? I think they do still sell red and purple carpet, but I've not been into a property with brand new carpet that was red or purple ever.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You're not going to go over to Home Depot and the carpet they have in stock includes every color. The carpet they have in stock includes just the neutral stuff that sells over and over and over again.
Right.
So you can't let your sellers also tell you a lie, like tell you a story that you know isn't true.
Correct.
Because they also don't sell every day, so we have to give them some grace. They could be saying, well, I heard you could just give an allowance. Or my sister said, just tell them you'll give an allowance for the, purple bedroom or whatever. Or, oh, I know we converted. Actually, I showed this house recently to my buyer and he did not end up buying it. But the house was a little garden, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Had a 2-car garage, as all of the other houses in this neighborhood did.
Okay.
But they had converted the garage and were using it like a room.
Had they really converted it?
No, the garage. Well, I don't know if they really had because he was mid-process of putting it back to a garage.
Oh.
Because I guess they had gotten enough, it was on the market a while, and I guess they had gotten enough feedback that said, oh, well, it had the garage door in the photos. We thought that was a garage. Like, buyers don't put 2 and 2 together.
Sure.
And then they would get there and be like, oh, but there's no garage. And I don't need this big open, 400 square foot room for what? I don't need this. I wanted to park my car in the garage.
Yeah.
So he was having to, there was a note in the listing. This is what we're in the middle of. This is what's coming next. And I'm just like, we have to that's why hiring a listing agent that knows the market is important, right? I'm like, no. We can't sell this house with this thing that worked for you, but will work for no one else.
Right.
Your purple carpet is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Okay. So I think that's important to not let your sellers push you around. And you're having to deliver bad news. Hey, I know that you can't sell and make money. And I'm also telling you have to spend money. But this is the nature of the beast. This is my question for you. What do you do as far as options? Do you give them some options? Like, okay, if you don't have this money, what happens next?
So with my first sweet young couple, I had to be like, I understand you don't have money to hire a painter and to do all these things. And she was like, I'll stay up till midnight if I have to. I'll just paint every minute that I'm not at work. And that's what she did. And she just made it happen. And There are times where I can say, well, if you can't do this, then we will have to adjust the price to reflect the condition. And because to me, it's like there are things you can do that are free.
Yeah.
Cleaning your house, free.
Yeah, I don't care how outdated your house is. If it is squeaky clean,
makes a huge difference.
Such a huge difference.
So things like that, I'm really hard on them about. And if people have said, but what if they just absolutely won't do anything and they want the price? I'm going to be honest with you. I've just never been in that situation.
Yeah.
I've never been in that situation where they didn't believe me.
And then you still were going to take the listing.
Correct.
Right? Like this is not.
Right. Like maybe it's a, I don't know that I can help you situation. Do we need to look at renting it out?
Yes.
You've helped people do that before.
Okay, look. So that's also the thing. When you see the numbers, when you're prepping for that listing or you're in the listing and you see the numbers, I'm not afraid to say, listen, it does me no good, but you might want to consider renting this property out. Many times, many times where I'm like, look, are these the numbers you were expecting? That's always the last thing I say. When I do my net sheet, are these the numbers you were expecting? And if they're like, no, it's worse, or yay, sometimes look, and back to our original message from our friend. When I get the sinking feeling in my stomach thinking, oh God, you're breaking even, or oh God, you're only making $5,000, or oh God, you have to bring $5,000. And I say, are these the numbers you're expecting? And they're like, yeah, that looks exactly like what we thought. The amount of relief, because I filtered it by what I thought was success, right?
Sure.
And that's not success for that seller. They have an agenda beyond the dollar figure, right?
Right.
But when you have to say, maybe you want to rent, or if I go into it knowing I'll bring the rental comps, I'll be like, this is what you could rent it for.
I just did one where they were not in a financially distressed situation at all. It's an older couple. This was sort of their second home here in Baton Rouge. And she was like, hey, Alissa, we're not spending as much time there. I think we're just going to sell it. And I was familiar with the house. And so it was a DSLD neighborhood.
Okay.
So very easy to run comps. So many sales in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So I just sent her the CMA summary. And it is like, and the thing is, it was more than they paid, but not drastically more.
Okay.
You know? And so she emailed back and was like, oh my gosh, these are the comps?
She thought it was way more.
When I sent them to her, I didn't have any thoughts on my radar that this was going to be a negative conversation at all.
Oh, wow.
And when I did the CMA summary, I just left the rentals on there.
Okay.
Like it pulled them all. It pulled all statuses within the neighborhood.
Okay.
Active, pending, sold, expired, withdrawn, rentals.
Okay.
So they were just at the bottom. And that neighborhood, I actually left them because that neighborhood has a lot of rentals. So I wanted them to see. But she said, do you think that getting 330 would even be an option? And I said, did you put in a pool?
What you got going on?
And she was like, no. I'm like, have you done anything? Like, she's like, no. I mean, she said it's in very good condition. I said, well, so were all of your floor plans that sold. I looked through the photos. They're all very nice and pretty and staged. And so this is what it
is.
And I was like, if you're not interested, the rental comps are there. You could look at those. And she emailed back and said, look, we don't have to sell. We'll just hang on to it for another year or two and have you check numbers next year.
Okay.
So I said, no problem. So I snoozed the email till next year to check in with her.
Right. But that's the advice you sometimes have to give. Look, here are the options. You wait. Stay here. Keep using the house. Whatever. 6 months, 3 months, at least 3 months. Check, see what's going on. Maybe 6 months. Maybe you have to rent. Maybe you only rent it out for short term and then try again in 6 months.
I did set myself up in MLS to receive a notification if her floor plan sells, just so I can remember to keep in touch, keep an eye on the market, you know. But
I mean, sometimes we just have to remind them, especially if they're not moving out of state or where it's like so critical to go at a certain time.
Right.
If you're like, hey, look, this is all the data you get today. Like, this is the best we can do today. In 3 months, maybe it's better. So can you put a pin in it? And we come back?
In 2024, 2025, I said more than once at the end of a listing interview, once I evaluated the situation, look, I know it's my job to sell homes.
Yeah, right.
But if I was you and I didn't have to,
Not now.
I would wait a minute. I would give it another year, 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was saying a year because
Yeah.
I was like, I just don't know. And at the end of 2025, when I noticed Q4 was picking up and things were happening, I was sort of telling people, look, I don't have the crystal ball, but it seems like 2026 is going to be a little bit more stable.
Mhm.
Buyer behavior is settling down.
Yeah.
Like, I just think we need to, if you have the luxury of time,
Right.
maybe we should use it.
Yeah. I think that can also happen mid-listing.
Yeah.
If you're like, this is not going how we thought. The only problem there is the expired withdrawn vultures will
know.
come out. So you have to
Yes.
be really clear with your seller. If you guys decide together, hey, we're going to just take a beat. Let's
Mhm.
give it 3, 6 months, a year, see what happens, come back to this. We still want to work together. It's the market. It's not me, whatever. You're going to have to tell that seller the minute this is pulled, they will start calling.
Yeah.
The agents that work an expired, the agents that work withdrawn, they're going to come knocking on your door.
And if they really had a buyer, they would have came to see it when it was for sale.
They would have already been there. So that's just an important thing to think about too. Okay, there's one last thing I want to talk about to help us avoid the sinking feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's setting our sellers' expectations at first call.
Yes.
I do not want to show up to your listing appointment with numbers that are going to make you start crying.
Mm-mm.
That's not ideal.
Mm-mm.
And I think one of the easiest ways to set their expectations is for you to ask them, what do you think your property is worth? What are you expecting it to list for? Like, what do you think it's going to sell for? Do you have any idea? And if they start telling you, I mean, look, I try to take my pre-listing calls at my computer.
Sure.
So I can pull up the neighborhood, and when they start rattling off numbers and things and tell me about their house and I'm looking at it, I'm like,
Mm-mm.
then at least you can maybe be like, okay, well, that's a little bit more than what's going on, but I'll, bring you all the information. Or sometimes we just talk it out on the phone. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
that's not what's
Not even
happening.
close,
That's
yeah.
not even close. So you're going to, if that's a necessity, if you're like, it must be this number or I'll stay, then you need to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put you on my check-in list for later.
Sure.
Right? But I think you have to, if you know their expectations also, if they're like, look, I know I'm not going to make money, or I know that I might owe, or I know that I'm going to break even, and they're okay with that and they tell you that on the front end, then you don't have to be so worried about it.
Right.
They still need to sell for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell us all your stories?
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
I feel fine. I think also if you let yourself carry the emotions of every single client you have, you're going to burn yourself out so fast.
Yeah.
You can care about people without carrying their stress inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
It takes practice sometimes, and every now and then it still gets me.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm not the one who has to bring 20 grand to closing.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who's in this position.
Right.
I am going to help them to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, you're not the one in this distress.
Yeah.
And so finding ways to mentally, you can still care about them without it being, consuming for you.
Yeah.
It's like you have to watch your emotional and mental boundaries when you're helping people like this. And it just is what it is.
Yeah. I think with that, these are the kind of listings you don't want to talk them into listing.
Right.
You want to almost beg them not to. And if they keep going, then it'll be okay.
They need to understand that this house, when you're pushing the price that's above the comps, your condition has to be A+.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're talking about every single penny and then we haven't even gotten to an inspection, like.
Yes, we were having those conversations.
I mean, that's also very frightening. Like I can't want it more than you do.
Right.
For sure. And also I can't give you a false sense of hope. Mm-hmm. If I'm like, oh, sure, no problem. We'll get it on the market and we'll see what happens. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then you come down to your very last penny in the negotiation and then there's an inspection, but we haven't even discussed what might happen there.
I was talking to an agent the other day who went on a listing appointment with somebody who knew they were upside down.
Okay.
They were actually becoming behind on their mortgage payments and had moved out of the home and in with their mother. So the house is now just empty, sitting there, probably approaching foreclosure. And she called me for advice because she's like, I don't know what to do because her dogs completely destroyed the floors. The house is filthy. She left dishes in the sink and stuff in the closets. And, I'm like, well, I could try to do some of this. I said, no. At some point, they have to help themselves.
Yeah, if they don't want to, look, y'all, not everyone in the world avoids foreclosure.
Right.
There was a time, see, we are so spoiled now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time before 5 years ago when it was normal for a certain percentage of houses to go to foreclosure. Is that sad and I feel bad for those people? For sure. But it wasn't like we just assume every house has to sell and it's an impossibility that you would go to foreclosure. Some people, like what you just described, don't want to do the work that it takes to sell their home.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, whether it be a mental health struggle or like you can't take that on.
No.
Because I can guarantee you it won't just be you cleaning it up. You're going to be given the whole time.
Yes.
Oh, now I have to give up part of my commission because you didn't make another mortgage payment?
Right.
And now we don't have any money to pay me?
And then we're getting into liability issues.
No. Some people do and it's coming back now.
Mm-hmm.
I find that I've been reading some stats of like different places where they're seeing foreclosures again. It was at such a high rate in 2007, 8, 9. You'd blow your mind.
Yeah.
Where it was just like you would come across more foreclosure short sale listings than regular listings at some points. And certainly in some neighborhoods. Like there were some neighborhoods, it's all you would see.
Wow.
So we're certainly not there. But you can't force people. I guess the end of this is you can't force a buyer to work with you. You can't force someone to sell their house and understand you've got to make them understand the monetary ramification.
And if they won't clean it, they are putting forth zero effort. And there's sometimes just nothing you can do. And maybe you let that person go and maybe they list it with somebody else and you can just watch from afar how that goes.
Right.
But you can't force them to do what they're going to do.
No, not if you want to have a positive experience.
Right.
In your business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else?
I just think, we have our net sheets that if you need a net sheet, we have a buyer and a seller. We have a seller net sheet and a buyer cost sheet to help our buyers and sellers understand the numbers, what they need to financially prepare for. If you don't have one, you can buy ours at hustlehumblypodcast.com/net sheet.
Net sheet. It's important to do it because they have to know on the front end.
Yeah.
This is not something we can wait. And if your location, like if your market feels soft, if there's inventory's building, not a lot of buyers, if you're seeing this happen to some people, you more than others needs to make sure you're doing this.
Yeah, when I do a buyer consultation, after I present the buyer brokerage cover letter that goes with the agreement, I also have the buyer cost sheet to say, look, these are the numbers you need to prepare for. I'm going to help you with your lender. Yeah. And then when I have a seller, every single time we get an offer, we're filling out a net sheet with what this offer is right now.
Right.
As it stands, this is about how much you're getting back or have to bring to the closing table. Yeah. Are you prepared for this?
Right. Yeah. And it's not, you can't take it personal. If they can't sell their house, if they're upset about being upside down, you didn't make the market. You're just the bearer of the news.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bad news. But that's okay. They're not all bad. That's why when I get when I'm like, is this what you were thinking? And they say, wow, that's way more. I'm like, yes.
Yay. They're excited.
I have been the bearer of good news plenty enough to even out the karma of the bad news.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you've been the one that was like, look at all the money you've made. And they're like, yoo-hoo.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely, it makes it a little less painful.
It ebbs and flows.
It always does.
But we have to be comfortable having those tough conversations.
So vital.
Have to.
Very important. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Good luck out there, everyone.
Yes, good luck.
Bye.
Wait, before you go, if you enjoyed this episode and if we brought you value, Take a minute to rate the show, leave a review, or drop a comment.
We are giving away our best stuff for free. Find it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/freebies.
We'd also love to see you in Hustle Humbly community. Join us there at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
We love chatting with you in our DMs. Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast and say hello.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at teen@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly Podcast. See you next week.